Ray,
Yes.
how much of your data is left?
I checked. I bought it a couple of days ago, so I was hoping. Now I don't do anything with the phone, even if I put up the data as
Are
part
you
of the
sure?
process.
Don't do anything with the phone.
Yes,
That
now
thing there,
You don't
I
watch
always
you
felt it
don't
was
watch a lot of
unnecessary.
things on the phone.
I used to. I mean, I think I used to watch
A lot of things.
Apple TV and all of that, but now I have restrained myself heavily because the rate at which that no seriously, because which other form of entertainment is available to a man at my age? I'm not the one that is roaming and going to. So I'm mostly either at home or at work or doing other things. But
Watch Joy News.
Yeah.
Some people have been left, dumped because they don't watch
no,
their
I get that.
it's
But
you.
the other
So
things
watch
that
Joy
I
News.
watch that requires internet. You get my point? Yeah, and you see, we should not joke with the fact that there are human beings in this republic. The only way they can actually watch Joy News or if you watch this show this morning is through their phone. Yeah. And
Ray,
if they are connecting and it's not working,
Ray's-
they would necessarily
Ray's
suffer.
emotions are coming.
And maybe
This
me,
is a
me,
very
me.
emotional
I mean,
matter.
sometimes I have to.
Hey, you
I
are
have to
beg.
choose what
We'll
time
come back. We'll
that-
come back
I'll
to
listen
it.
to news. The other program I can't listen.
You first the headlines, and then we'll come back. I'm laughing, but this is a crazy serious
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, I mean,
It's more of a human right being
Yes.
deprived.
Thank you.
Your right to information is being deprived because
We'll
of
spend time
a
on it.
price barrier here.
Let's get through those headlines first.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
the Daily Graphics reporting this morning: Middle Northern Belt drought, farmers risk loans default, food security, investments under threat, and there's a group that's drawing attention. I'm talking about this thing. We are all basically ignoring it, but it will come back
It will
to
come
bite
back to
us.
hit us.
We are already having serious what they call it, inflationary issues.
Yeah.
Even though we have been
Food-
told this is not
food
yes,
is coming down.
but the source where we get our food from, it's not raining, and it is painful that we are happily telling ourselves in 2024, 21st century, we are still dependent on rain-fed agriculture.
What happened to the dams? No, I'm just asking. I mean, it's supposed to be. What happened
No,
to the?
no, we
is
could
it
you remember
one
the
village, one dam?
yeah,
or
yeah,
what,
yeah. They what's the name? Hawa Kumsen. Yes, forgive me. Yes, Hawa Yakubu. Yes, Hawa Kumsen told us that the amount of money that we are devoted to the project, the only thing they could do is dugouts. And if you've been roaming in the northern part of the country recently, you'll see some of those places where they've left some pits there. In other places, it's almost as if a small crater has been made there with the hope that water will fill in from somewhere. But it is not raining to fill in those places. So this attempt, one village, one dam, or one dugout, complete failure, we agree. But we should not wait until this crisis because now, beginning of the season, they are giving indications. If the yield is very poor along the line, and we're also talking about people who are going for loans.
Yeah.
The other time I spoke to the Polymer Quarry Paramount chief, he said the people were moving away from the maize production in his Sisala area, where massive maize production is happening, because they used to get support in terms of fertilizer. It's no longer coming. What's the name of the minister? Brian Echampon should concentrate less on hotels acquisition and talking about election, which is on 5 months away, and more on the responsibility that this republic has given him, which includes making sure that we do not get into more trouble in this area.
I think a lot has to be done. And
Yeah.
This is a very serious thing. And for the loans, the banks are not for that Christmas.
Yeah.
When time is due,
Okay.
they'll come for their money.
Well, let me run through the rest. Choose prudence over populism. IFS Edges Government. Awutu Senya is repeater of soccer. And Krapa, that is the Minister of State for the Energy Ministry, tax ECG to address customer concerns, which may include, if I have not asked you for meter, don't come and give me meter. Teacher nursing training allowance debate resurfaces. There's a debate on it again.
Yeah, it looks like.
Okay, all right.
Well, to the Ghanaian Times, one of the lead stories, target students who cannot pay, experts urge NDC when it comes to the free academic user fee policy.
Thought that advice will ever be given to the NDC.
President inaugurates...
Almost like take your own advice.
Yeah. President
Honestly.
inaugurates $52 million Bolga Regional Hospital rehabilitation project. That's on page 13. And also one of the lead stories, child adoption rising in Ghana. 100 258 families apply in first half of 2024, and 19 pubs and others fined 475,000 for flouting public smoking law. And I didn't know this was actually being enforced. And the story says total of 19 entertainment facilities, restaurant and in two regions have been fined total amount of 475,000 for flouting the law that prohibits smoking at public places.
Okay. Well, now the Catholic Standard says Ghana needs honest leaders. Archbishop Anoche, the Archbishop in Kumasi, is the one urging, and using work hours for prayers on Christian. This is a story you should certainly read on page 3 of the Catholic Standard. Using work hours for prayers is on Christian. That's on the front page with the NMC inaugurating boards. And Kojo, I don't know why I should repeat this, but if a distinguished Raymond Kuma Aqua has been put on a board, that Raymond Kuma Aqua is different from this Raymond Aqua. Stop attacking me needlessly and stop sending me fake congratulatory messages when you know deep within your heart that it has nothing to do with me.
Tomorrow you are put on a board.
No. You see,
or maybe your relative, family and friends.
for the avoidance of doubt,
Okay.
I am not the only Raymond Aqua that
You're
exists
not
in the world.
related to that Raymond Aqua.
I'm not in any way related to
Okay.
anybody
I
called
thought it was
Raymond
some
Aqua.
family and friends.
I have friends who are called Raymond Aqua, but
that you push for that.
Don't-
you push on the board.
don't pretend that you don't know I'm not the one that has been or have not been appointed to any place.
So did you put the Kuma in the middle just so that people will not know
Oh,
that you are now
yes.
working for government?
Yes.
I have no relations with that.
Where from the Kuma? Were you
Yeah.
named after an uncle or something?
Yeah.
Samuel Dame.
So
Restrain them.
Friends,
Do you,
connection
do you
because-
spell it with or without an H?
I've issued final notice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because you're a champion for when it comes to...
You know, Kuma means junior, right?
Online news review now.
So who is Raymond
Senior.
the little
Senior?
brother.
Yeah, Aqua Senior.
I see. Interesting.
And World Bank lauds Ghana's progress towards economic recovery and warns of ongoing challenges. And you can read all about it. Oh, you are arrogant. You don't say evil things about the dead. Mahama slams Napo. So apparently some things were said. Were they evil things though? So what he said was what? Bakuna Uwe.
The expression that he used at Bakunowi and then the fact that he even failed to acknowledge that
Yeah,
late
I mean,
president was a professor, you know.
did he not anticipate that there will be more scrutiny of the things he says now?
Yeah. It won't
Did-
be
did-
the old again.
Was that
One-
not,
Yeah,
anticipated?
Yeah. I mean, it won't be the old Napo as Minister of Energy or Minister of Education. Now you are a running mate of one of the leading political
Frankly, I
parties.
have given up
Who
on
has
Napo
already
matters,
been
right?
criticized for saying, the wrong
Personally,
thing.
I have given up on Napo talks. Yes, Kojo,
So
we are
then
complaining.
what is his value to the ticket? If now, every time he's to speak, everyone is afraid.
Well,
every speech can become a liability.
There's a manifesto launch coming up in Takrady, right?
Yeah.
So
I suspect
many
he will
will be
not,
looking
he will not
forward
be
to
speaking. Yeah.
Napo's remarks.
No. I suspect he will not be speaking.
Bakuna your friend Raymond Aqua.
Anyway, but see, this internet matter is of importance to every person in this republic.
Absolutely.
We cannot ignore it, and the answers we are getting, they don't make sense. They don't make sense because the rate at which we've had internet prices going up, it's almost not in tandem with inflationary pressures.
Yeah.
You get my point?
Yeah.
It's almost as if a system is working on its own and making all of us suffer at the end of the day. It is painful. It's become part of our lives. Children use it to study. They use it for recreation and all of that. I don't know how many adults can live their lives without internet in this world.
I mean, remember the day when we had that blackout?
Yeah, it was almost as if your life was over.
An apocalypse or
Yes.
whatever, if you choose to call it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the people who represent us, who believe in consumers' protection and their interest, we expect that they'll come to the table and do something about the current situation.
Yeah. Fundamental question, Ray. I mean, has the cost of producing data gone up? By how much?
Yeah.
And for what reason? What are the inputs that have increased in price? Okay. So what is it? Some sort of some fine from government that has come in that has suddenly made it unaffordable for the networks to give us data? Is it the old thing with the what's the name of that policy? The one to try and
Significant market power.
The S&P.
yes. Is that what is driving prices up? Because the minute someone increases their price, now Big Boy too has to increase his own. Is that what it is? Did the cutting of the fiber cable under the sea somehow result in a higher cost of producing the data? Like, can someone explain to us? What has suddenly made it so that as a network, you can no longer provide us with data at the rates you used to? And this data is something that is getting cheaper everywhere around the world. Everywhere
With
around
improving
the
technology.
world. Do you know there are places where they pay you to use their data? Do you know that? They give you incentives to use their data because the thing is free everywhere. But they know that if you use theirs, then you get to see their adverts, you get to get so they make money. So they will incentivize you to use their data.
And Kojo was talking about input costs, and one critical input challenge that is here that we have to deal with is the city's depreciation. And that is a critical factor. So those are externalities that we want to look at in trying to ensure that these things are, the cost is dealt with. If as long as the cities is still struggling, settling their external suppliers, dealing with interconnectivity cost across players across the world and all the rest, and your city is depreciating, somebody has to pay for that cost.
But George, I'm seeing the last few years, 399 gave me 180 or so, 182. Then they have that. By asking me to pay 350 for it, you just reduce you by 49 cedi. Then 92, you have it 100% to 92
gig.
Let's leave it there. Now I buy the 92, and I'm seeing. See, it used to be 92 for a month or a little beyond that for me, and now it's 92 for a week for me. That certainly is a major cause of concern.
So that's pretty much.
This will not necessarily be the same pressures of exchange.
No, Raymond, the FX component is a factor here.
But this is 400%.
I'm saying that it is a factor here
cost.
because those are externalities that the company has to deal with.
George,
your inflation is also shooting up as well.
Sorry, are you saying that the current problem is due to FX?
No, I'm not saying that it's a major contributing factor.
As to what percentage of it?
Yeah.
Because I'm saying that the reduction in the amount and the usage is irrational.
Listen.
Your city has depreciated by more than 19%.
George, just a minute, please.
That reflects in almost me having to pay 4 times for the original
I have
data.
to open the phone lines. We have very little time, and I want to hear from our audience. So call us 0302-216541, 055-1111-997. There are two things about the FX argument that doesn't quite make it cover the whole situation. The first one is that, look, what Raymond is describing is a 400% increase in the cost. Okay, it used to last a month. It now lasts a week. But the other thing I don't understand is that 92 gig is 92 gig.
Yeah.
It's gigabytes, not CDs.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It is a measure, or a finite measure of data.
Yeah.
So what has happened so that a finite measure of data is suddenly less? It's like 1 kilometer is now less.
That finite
You
data,
get it? So the question
price
is,
component.
it's not the price component that has
There's a price
increased.
component.
The first time it was the price component. When it used to cost you 399 cedis to get 180, it came to 350 cedis for 92. That was cost component. Allow me.
Yeah.
That was cost component. But now, it is how long your 92 gigs lasts.
Yeah.
That's not money. It's the data itself. Okay? So it's kind of like a standardized measure of data. But suddenly you are getting less. It's like
my data is finishing.
You're going to buy Olunka, Olunka, but you open it and there's less in there.
Always two variables you want to look at.
You know the numbers: 0302-216-541, 055-1111-997. Give us a call if you've experienced this. Nanayao is in Medina. Hello, Nanayao. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, sir. Please, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. I just wanted to contribute a little to the discussion you're having.
Sure, go ahead.
I hear George, we are faced drift, that the FX component is adding up to the cost. But please ask George. I want George to help us. How much profit did MTN make half the quarter, half this year? See, the telcos are making billions of profits, and yet we, the Ghanaian public, are suffering. So I just don't understand. I mean, you are making expenses, yes, but you are making huge profits at the end of the year.
Right.
Huge profits, billions of Ghana cedis. And we are always suffering. I think that is unfair, please. They can come again. They can look at their figures again, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Listen, if you can keep your calls to about 30 seconds so we can get as many of them in as possible. Richmond is at Airport Residential. Richmond, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm very well, Richmond. Talk to us.
First and foremost, I agree with George that the FX plays a role when it comes to the cost of data. But the reality is that the network operators are taking advantage of the situation and they are fleecing us. Because if I'm buying data 399 for, or let me say fiber, actually MTN fiber for 350 cities for about 3 to 5 gig, and then you reduce that, you increase the cost, you reduce that. Now I'm paying 8 data, and the data runs faster than what it should be. There cannot be any logical explanation to that. So I think that the NCA must intervene. Right. And if you look at also the audited financials of these network companies, they're making so much money at the expense of Ghanaians.
Right.
So they should look at the cost of data and reduce it.
Thank you, Richmond. Thanks very much for calling. Again, 30 seconds, okay? And then we can take as many as possible. We're going back to Medina to talk to William. Hi, William. Good morning.
Hi, Kozo. Good morning.
Very well. Thank you, William. What's up?
Kozo, this, I don't know whether it is a crime that in Africa we are using the data. Even the developed countries, they are enjoying it, but in Africa, especially in Ghana, this NPP era, we have to suffer for data. I don't know. It's a crime. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling, William. All right. Now, is this Ima or Emma? In Accra Central, is this Ima or Emma?
Good morning. Hello.
Ima? Hello, Ima.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes. Could you please, I bet to digress a little bit on the topic. If you are talking in terms of gigabits you bought against what you are using the data for, please, can you address that one? Because if you go and buy that amount of data and you use it for video and other things, your data will run very fast. So, regardless of the hardship of the economy, it will depend on the individual what you are using your data for.
Yeah.
So please address that issue.
Thank you, Ima. All right, George is in Adenta. Hi, George. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, Kojo is very, very outrageous. And we are here controlling our companies that are manufacturing cement. Yet we can't talk about these things. Look at the SCV bills. What are we taking for granted? And we think the local industries are rather have problems. What the foreign companies are taking advantage of us. What are our parliamentarians doing? It's too much. You buy data within 1 minute, 2 minutes, it's finished. And look at the cost of living in this country. It's too bad. It's too bad. It's good you guys have got this topic out. Kudos.
Thank you, George. Lots to think about there. Bishop is in Asante Mampong. Hi, Bishop. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo. How are you?
Very well, thank you, my boss.
Kojo, the telcos, are they operating in foreign land and we are tapping their services in Ghana? Because I'm hearing some people saying the FX affect their charges and the rest. Yes. Their machines are here. They are operating in Ghana. And, I mean, they are dollarizing the sales. And therefore, when the dollar go up, they change their prices or what? I cannot get it. I can't think far. They should tell us.
Thank you for sharing. All right then. Nana Kwesi is in Nungwa. Hello, Nana Kwesi. Have we lost Nana Kwesi?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Nana Kwesi.
Kojo, I overheard the last but one caller talking about usage of data.
Yes.
People using their data for videos and all. I don't agree with that. Don't we have a regulator in this game? The regulator is supposed to, streamline all these things. So it is not about how you use the data. What is the regulator doing about it? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nana Kwesi. And good old William from Gumwa Butubrum. William, it's been a while. Good morning.
Kojo,
how are you?
We did Ghana. I miss you like fish miss water.
Hey, when did fish miss water?
Then you should know. You remember when we were in school?
Yeah.
The curry we used to eat.
Mm-hmm.
It was rough,
Yeah.
Even when you put it in the sieve, it will take time before it will sieve.
That's true.
Now, see the curry they've been bringing that is made in China. Very smooth. You put it in the sieve now, then it's gone. That's how down the data has sent. With the introduction of the iPhones and the nose phones and the more phones, they feel that we have money. So then they increase their data cost. You put it on here, it's gone. You put it on here, it's gone. Abi, they are chasing. We are busy chasing cement price, and we are not chasing data. So we didn't time, my brother.
Wow.
I miss him. Where is Mama V?
She's on leave. She'll be back soon.
Right. Her leave keep long too much. Why?
Leave past leave, my brother.
Have a nice morning, my brother.
You too. Hey, how is Aaron going to tweet Swan? Right now, the data 10 Chinese Gary. Okay, thank you, William. Call us too, 0302 216 055-111-997. This data thing, Charlie, is some way power.
I want to make a very, very important point before the call comes in. Now, let's hold whatever challenges, whatever these companies are doing constant. You are not operating in an island. And I think it's very, very important for us to understand this concern that you are in an economy or in a country where inflation is hitting record levels. You're in a country where the city is depreciating. These companies are operating machines that they have to service and pay contractors outside. A subsea cable, you're looking for 5G and all those things. All these things are impacting.
All right.
On the pricing.
We'll explore that in a minute.
The data.
First, let's talk to Francis in Katamanso. Francis, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for calling.
I want to know who you complain to if your network in your neighborhood is terrible. Because I've been using Telecel Vodafone for the past 20 years, okay? And then I moved to Katamanso. When I'm in my room, even outside, people call me and they say my phone is off. Meanwhile, the phone is not off. So I live in Katamanso, and before that they were telling me broadband. I should get broadband, and that's the Vodafone guys. They were promoting when I was living in Tema. But Katamanso it works. And internet here is terrible. Vodafone internet is terrible. Calls, even normal phone call cabin through, is terrible. So please, Vodafone, if they are listening, tell us if they are listening, please. Katamanso, we are suffering when it comes to Vodafone. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you, Francis. Thanks for calling. Eddie is in Dansuman. Hi, Eddie. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo. Now, Kojo Safuhemi. Now, what happened to them?
Yamina do be anu.
Catch a joint them each time. I had find no man who put a car.
Show you.
Room to the catch no number 5 no non to no kakra. I near after me. But one country mama video say wako paternity leave me via on Sanambra the after I could you miss it? I said, do ya teach you? Or ya take there. Now, MTN will some data only one for you. API way. If it is we reduce them. If it is reduce start, in that download the play. But no. Sometimes my can tell it. I can say too much track any data using. Whenever we don't know. Sometimes you can say too much track say, matter be a 2 gig, 5 gig, or last 3 days, 7 days. But Mankasa may manage in Kakanka. No, why? But no one day ship no call. International. Yankasa, ya, word na ya would Nankasan, what teaching and Kaka freedom Kaka Benya are they? Maybe she not be able to share in everything on the soil. I say, Simpotoya won't bow and see one not. No one tree at the cry we are lacking is there. Consumer protection. Consumer protection in Porto one Kadamasa man. Consumer protection standard. Never was it but standard.
Yeah, that's it. Quick translation. Eddie says, look, we all know our data usage and we monitor it normally. So we understand just how much data
luckily
we
on my
use
network
regularly.
they give you even the app for you to know your daily usage for you the hour.
So we are capable of monitoring our data usage. It's not about whether or not we've suddenly started using more data. And he also says, look, there's a need for consumer protection in Ghana. He calls on the NCA to play more of that role as a regulator.
Actually.
Indeed, yes. So he calls on them to do that job better. Eddie was our last caller. Thanks to all of you who called. This conversation there, we have to make more time for it as the show goes on.